Hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Building Modular with Jennifer and Dave. What's happening, Jennifer?
Good to see you again.
Good to see me. I know I've been all over the place, right? You would think I was staying in one spot, but I'm not. You say that sarcastically.
Well, actually, I'm saying it to you and to everybody who's joining us today. Thanks so much for your support, for cheering us on, and joining us with your comments and your questions.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. So we are continuing on down the path of building modular and all the different things that we've been talking about, from contracts to site preparation to the value of modular to the value of off-site construction in general. Does it make sense for you? Does it not make sense for you, right? We had that conversation yesterday as well. And today we're going to talk a little bit about lessons learned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is what we do, right? We share stories, we share key learnings. We look to others who are executing successfully and sometimes not so successfully every day of the week. But there are people out there who are doing a really great job. And, you know, we've had such a wonderful opportunity to speak with them and you know, hear what they're doing.
Yeah, very, very much so. I mean, that's what's so great about the show, is having all these different people on, talk about their challenges, their successes, the good, the bad. And I mean, we get into the ugly sometimes on here. And today's going to be a little bit no different, but no ugly today, only good stuff, because we're going to be talking about lessons learned. And I think that's the fun part about it. So where do we want to begin, Jennifer? Maybe with... We are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So please hit that like and share button. And as always, we are bringing you the brightest and the best in building science, building systems, building codes, and the tech used to build it better. And we really appreciate everybody's support out there and all that we do. And we are looking forward to our roadshow. It's almost here.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said earlier, there's so many great stories out there, and there are so many people who really want to learn more about the innovation that's happening within construction, the different methods of construction. Right. I mean, we talk about volumetric modular construction on this show, but there's no shortage of really amazing work being done across all of the building systems, you know, across, you know, whether you call it modern methods of construction, industrialized construction, all across the world. People are using offsite construction to build it better.
They are using it to build it better, you know, and some of the key factors that's pushing it this way, and we talk about it on every show, is the lack of skilled labor. And it's also just the sheer volume of homes that we need to build to make up the affordable housing crisis is forcing an industry who hasn't changed in over 100 years to finally change and take a look at better ways of building, because there are much better ways of building. And I love to have that argument, but I'm going to leave my soapbox for another time.
Right. But again, we welcome everyone, whether you are already using volumetric construction, whether you're a traditional site builder, whether you're a student, you know, maybe you're thinking about getting into this industry, or maybe you're thinking of leaving one industry and joining another. We welcome you all to consider offsite construction as your career of choice.
Absolutely. And if you are a student, you just made me, I put it up there, right? Stone Pile College. What the heck? What a great place to go. You don't need a degree in anything outside of your high school diploma. You don't need all the fancy tests. You just got to write a paper. This is what I love about it. It's geared for people that really don't want to go to a four-year college, but they still want to get an education and a degree in offsite construction management. It's still a college. You still have to do the work. However, it's geared for people that learn differently. So I think that's what's really great about Stone Pile College. And it's geared towards offsite construction, associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees.
Right. And prefabrication.
Prefabulous. Is that what she was going to say?
Right? Guess what the best part is about Stone Pile Construction College? You work with some of the greatest minds in the industry. You know, are the professors, are the people that you can intern with, are the people who will most likely hire you once you graduate. So, you know, we talk about the trade show isn't really happening right now. How are these students getting in front of the jobs, the careers, the companies that are making a difference in this world? Stone Pile has a solution for that.
They do have a solution for it, and we're glad to be a sponsor of Stone Pile College. And when I say sponsor, we're not getting, you know, we're not getting paid on the back end to have these ads or anything. They're doing great things for our industry, and I want to share that with you. I'll share our page so everybody can see it. So you know you're in the right place when you see this page right here. Bam! Stone Pile Construction College. I hope everybody can see that. You know, it's about Stone Pile and what the college is, but you can get an associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's program here. We are proud supporters of this organization, and it is run by some of the best, right? You got Base 4 consulting or architects and consulting that are behind this. I mean, talk about wonderful people, Blair and Gary Varmus and Jody Varmus and all the things that they're doing. It's absolutely amazing. So if you don't know about it, please go to it. You will not be disappointed. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. We're going to get into our typical PowerPoint presentation that we love so much here.
Oh my gosh. Is the world bored of these yet? I mean, really? And these
Who could be bored of our presentations? It's one more PowerPoint. Who doesn't love one more PowerPoint, Jen? This is a short one, though. We've been trying to shorten it up. And hey, listen, next week, and we're going to be more interactive and, things that we're doing and where we're at and people that are coming on. We have some great interviews coming up.
Yeah. And what's so funny about these presentation decks, our daughters, they're in 7th grade and they are doing presentation decks that blow the socks off of these. So
we should have them do ours.
Maybe we should bring even Dahlia in and get them to do some of these, presentations. But the fact of the matter is, it's not about how fancy it is. It isn't how many animations are in there. It's really just about delivering the content, the message, and giving you guys a glimpse at where you can go to learn more.
Yeah, 100%. And if you're out there watching, if my shirt's looking really funny on the screen, let me know, because I'm looking over here at this screen. It looks funny.
Oh my gosh, we're both a little fuzzy today, but hey.
Yeah. All right. It is what it is. It's where we're at. All right, let's move into this, Jennifer. Here we go. Episode 41, key learnings from industry leaders.
Yeah. So over the last few weeks, the last 41 weeks, essentially, we've had some really terrific guests on the show. And you know what? These are just small nuggets. It's not the main message of the conversation.
That's right.
It's not what the guest was trying to essentially get across. You can watch the video and you can, really see what they were presenting or what they were talking about during that conversation. But these are the little nuggets that were kind of sandwiched in between the other messages that are so valuable to any builder who wants to build it better.
Yeah, it really, really so. I mean, these are experts. These are people that have been in the industry a long time and they're doing it right. So let's start off with one of our favorites, right? Rochester Homes.
I know.
You know who that guy is? Look at him. He's young. And we say he's been in this industry forever. He's too young to have been in this industry forever.
But you know what? Alex grew up through the ranks. He started in sales, does a great job with marketing, has learned the factory process, and has an amazing builder-centric approach to his business. And super contagious guy, high energy, really has a passion for what he's doing.
Yeah, Alex, honestly, and they've won a ton of awards.
Yes.
Was it last year, the year before? Building Systems Council through the NAHB. I believe that's where we originally met. It was in Pittsburgh. Imagine that, Pittsburgh. All roads lead to Pittsburgh, just so you know out there. But yeah, we met in Pittsburgh, and what a young, smart person. And he's really, really into the industry and making it better. And that's even what's more spectacular with Alex.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked to with Alex was, what do you wish that builders would ask you? What do you wish, when you were onboarding new builders would do or say, or, what was the conversation you were hoping for? And it was amazing how much sincerity his response was filled with. And he has this, and it's so true. When the builder wins, the manufacturer wins.
That's right.
Right? When the builder moves on to job number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and places those orders with the factory, everybody wins, right? But his sense was that there were some builders out there who didn't really embrace that spirit. They wanted to be close enough to the factory. And these are Alex's words. They wanted to be close enough to the factory to get the best pricing, but didn't want to open up their books or open up a behind the scenes glimpse at how they're operating their business or running the business.
That's right.
Especially when they were a newer builder, newer to Modular or newer to Rochester Homes.
And that's it. And we talk about this all the time. Go into it looking for a partnership. Do not go into these relationships, just looking for a supplier, because it doesn't work that way if you want to maximize the value of what you'll get out of this. Now, if you're a homeowner out there and you're just looking to say, hey, I want to be my own general contractor and GC, it's no different for you. You're going to need their help. And education costs money. I don't care how much you think you got it figured out. You're going to pay somewhere along the ways, when you try and avoid GCs and everything. Why are you looking at me like that?
Who said those words?
Oh, is that coming up? Dang. Am I jumping ahead? I just had a conversation on Facebook about it this morning with somebody who wanted to GC their home. And I was saying, I'm like, listen, you can do it, but don't think you're going to do it and have it all figured out because it's modular. It's not so easy. Why?
Right. Well, I'm laughing because right before this broadcast went live, I did share the post and I said, somebody very special to us told us that once, that an education will cost money no matter what. You're going to pay for the education.
So you did a post prior for that?
I did. And do you want to share with them who that person is?
Well, that would be my grandfather. Yes, my grandfather did say, Davey, and he points his crooked finger broken from the war. Education costs money. You can either go out and try it on your own and get your ass handed to you, or you can go pay for an education at some school. What do you say? At some university or school. Either way, it's going to cost you money. And he said, I can guarantee you it's easier if you find somebody who knows what they're doing and learn from them. And it'll cause you a lot less headaches and most likely not be as expensive. So there's your lesson for today. Where's my soapbox, Jen?
I know, right?
Did you take my soapbox out? Nope, it's there.
Well, I mean, Mickey, right? We called him
Mickey Shoulders, Iron Mike, Golden Glove boxer. Yes, World War II. Actually had the one of the first confirmed kills during World War II in the Pacific. I'm not going to get into all of that.
Well, either way, decorated veteran from World War II who, really took a lot of pride in what he did. And what he was referring to essentially was an apprenticeship program, which again has kind of gone by the wayside. So if you're out there, if you are doing any type of matchmaking, apprentices program, the tech schools, the vocational schools, give us a thumbs up because we really want to support you and give you a shout out, especially the ones who are geared toward a more diverse student body, a more inclusive student body, encouraging others to really get involved.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely give us thumbs up. Hit that like button now. We'd love to hear from you guys out there. And tell us where you're joining us from today. Now, what are you waiting for? All right, let's keep moving, Jen. I'm all wound up.
Definitely. But essentially, Alex was saying, hey, find a partner in your manufacturer.
That's right.
Don't think this is a one-off relationship. Really go in this with an open mind, open arms, and really win together, succeed together, because it can happen and it should happen.
Right. Absolutely. Open mind, open heart. I'm starting to feel like this is the YMCA. All right, I'm moving on before you kill me. Okay, here we go. Commodore Corporation, Jennifer. This is our next one. Who is that guy?
Oh my gosh. So Bob Bender joined us right before Christmas.
It was.
And there were so many golden nuggets here. And they built Commodore Corporation on pillars, core values and a foundation that everybody shares the similar vision and comes back to those core values to really understand what is the right path to take, what's the best path to take. How do you apply those core values when faced with a challenge or a question? And Bob had so many great things to share with the audience.
He did.
But one thing that he said, or one of many things that he said was, be good at what you do. Focus on your strength. Your channel partners will help you succeed. So while he was saying that, what he was saying is, don't try to be everything to everybody. Yep. Don't try to win on every front. Really understand what are your core competencies. What are you good at? What do you enjoy doing? If you enjoy building, 4-module, 2-story colonials, if that's really where your passion is, lean into it and do it. If commercial work is your thing, lean in and do it. But when you start mixing and matching, and when you start, yesing your clients and saying, oh, yeah, we can do that, and hoping that you can figure it out along the way, really think about what that does to your bottom line. Yeah,
but listen, we're all good at something. This is where surrounding yourself with the right people, and this goes back to the partnership and the collaboration. These manufacturers have engineers, designers, some have architects, field supervisors. They've built a lot of homes. They've dealt with a lot of issues. It's never a perfect process. So if you're good at digging dirt, dig the dirt. If you're good at framing out the porches, frame out the porches. But build your team and then treat them as a team. That's kind of what he was saying.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. So that was one of his golden nuggets. And then we moved into another one from Bob.
Building innovation when busy building.
Yeah. So that was the topic that we were talking about.
Yeah.
How do you press pause for a minute and step back? And, when you're so busy, how do you reinvest in yourself, whether it's systems, upgrades, teams? How do you reinvest and find innovation, adopt innovation when you're so busy?
That's right.
And how do you do it when you're not busy?
Well, that's right. That's the catch-22, because when you're not busy, you're typically not bringing in the money. And that's always a scary part for people. So, but we had this conversation yesterday. There are ways to do this, whether it is just, small little things that you can do from a technology standpoint. You can include innovation and keep improving your processes and bettering yourself in the manufacturing world of modular in smaller steps. It doesn't have to be a big undertaking. You do not have to be the next Ford Motor Company overnight.
Right.
But if you can increase something that increases your capacity on building, well, there's wins out there for everybody. And that's part of what we've been talking about as well.
Yeah. And so essentially there's two messages here, on this slide. It is, bring in that innovation, whether you're busy, whether you're not busy. Always have your sights set on that broader vision. How do I build it better? How do I be better than yesterday? How do I build it better? What's my plus one? How do you be true and be true to your talents, right? And really apply them to their fullest each day. And what he said, another one of their core values was relationships matter.
They do.
Whether you're busy, whether you're not busy, whether you're adopting, new techniques or technology or not, the relationships with your team, your supply chain, your trade partners, they have to be healthy, they have to be sustainable, but you have to value those relationships and make sure you're respectful of those relationships. Yeah,
100%. It's funny. There's somebody we haven't seen in a while. And you know what? This is somebody that's very respectful of relationships. So the timing could be better. So I'm going to flash them. The John Magnan's in the house. I like that. I'm going to say John Magnan's in the house. What's happening, John? Man, I hope Happy New Year's to you, first of all. I hope all is well. Man, I haven't seen John in a while. He's been busy out here, though.
I hope that means that he's
doing
busy.
Amazing things out there, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. So, John, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you are well. Reach out to us. Let us know what you're doing one of these days. You're a busy man, I'm sure.
Yeah, but bringing passion and focus together, like John said, it really sets you up for success. If you're making tons of money but you hate what you do, is that really the right role for you? Is that really where you want to be? And then conversely, if you're not making a ton of money, but you're doing what you love and you're putting your everything and your all into it, chances are success will follow.
Well, that's a good place to be, though, too, right? You don't always, money isn't everything, but it helps, right? But
don't even.
You don't want me to make my money comments?
No.
It can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you freedom, I hear. Anyhow, moving on. Let's go. Man, we live in a world, don't we? All right. So perfect. Who is our next comment from? Jennifer? Dude, Ryan is a trip.
Yeah. So Ryan Wallace from the Solar Village and the Solar Factory
up in New York. Yeah.
Is so busy that it was super hard to get a hold of him. But when we finally connected, boy, was it outstanding. And what Ryan, his passion was all about solar, right? That's right. Where they started. And he found a like-minded community of early adopters and said, I am going to start using volumetric modular, build these solar panels in the factory, have them installed in the factory, and built this whole village in Geneva, New York, really working hard to achieve that net zero home.
Yeah, very much so. So find the right lending institution. We found a great partner who said, you're crazy. You don't know what you're doing, but we're going to trust you. Believe in your vision, execute, and others will help you. I mean, that's such a real quote. That's it's true, right? Do we believe in our vision?
Yeah. And it's so funny. Ryan probably would be watching us right now and looking back and say, well, that really wasn't the takeaway I was hoping that you guys would pick up on as he's building these amazing net zero homes. for his amazing homeowners who love him. I mean, we were broadcasting live with him inside somebody's house, right, that they live in.
No, well, they let him, yeah. I mean, but he knew all of the owners in his community by name, or most of them anyhow, it seemed like. Yeah.
So he's someone who takes relationships very seriously. And the reason why we pulled out this quote is because we hear from a lot of offsite builders that financing is challenging. This has been a theme in almost every conversation that we've had with either a builder or a manufacturer. It comes up at trade shows as a very frequently asked question. And it's not that it's hard to find the right lender. It comes down to communication, and how do you connect with the right lender who truly understands your vision, that you're able to clearly articulate your vision, and they believe in you and they fund the project. Yeah,
for sure. But when you have people that like Ryan that are so passionate and they really understand what they're doing. I mean, he's created the whole community around this up north. And I think that's what's amazing.
Yeah. So thumbs up to Ryan Wallace and his team at the Solar Factory and the Solar Village.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Who's our next guest here, Jennifer?
So now it's funny, right? Because Bill Spohn, we had him on the show.
We did.
First and foremost, he came to us as a homeowner, right? As a homeowner who built his
own house,
his own home.
That's right.
Come to find out, he's also, a true high performance and
sells all the technical equipment to test all the homes, and he's really in deep within the high performance community,
right?
And all roads lead to where?
Forget it.
Pittsburgh. Yep, he built that one in Pittsburgh too. I'm from Pittsburgh. If you haven't gathered that, but yeah, right. Yes.
So, host of the Res Tech podcast. I mean, he just gets, he has such a passion for, again, that net zero home, passive house standards. And even with his own home, he wasn't necessarily going for a third-party certification, but he certainly learned a lot along the way because he wasn't a builder.
That's right. He was not a builder. But he had a whole network of people that he knew that he could ask questions and reach out to and work through things. And it wasn't always a smooth process. And that's what's so great. If you're new to this and you want to watch some of these episodes, lessons learned. These are good people to learn from. These are people that are in the industry building their own homes, and they find it's never as simple as one thinks unless you do it a lot. And then it's still not simple.
Right. And what was so cool when Bill was walking around his home and we had some really terrific guests tune in that day, who were chiming in, much like Mark is right now. He definitely did lead a great presentation. But what was so interesting when he was walking around the exterior of the house, everybody commented because it was a very big house.
Yeah, it was.
In this big, beautiful open field. The size of the mechanicals, the HVAC system.
Oh, they were tiny. It was, I think it was 2 ton, I think, for the whole house, 1.5 tons, 2 ton. It wasn't a lot. I'd have to go back and watch, but I remember going, wow.
Yeah. Here's this ginormous house with this very small unit on the outside. And the lesson learned here was really start with your building envelope.
Yeah.
So many people start with the floors or the granite or the, countertops and high ceilings and all of that. They start with the design elements.
That's right.
But the lesson we learned from Bill was start with your building envelope. Create that air tightness.
Well, and we talk about that on Building BS Fridays, with Mark Bare Naked Willie, who just put a comment up on BS Friday. It always goes back to the same thing in a lot of instances, and that's the air tightness. Now, yes, you got to put in mechanical air intake and outtake, equipment, but HRV and things. So I have a hard time processing my brain today.
Oh my gosh.
HRV, ERVs, I got it. So, but with that said, you're absolutely right. Air tightness is the key to healthy living as well as affordable, energy efficient homes.
Yeah. And the key takeaway here for any homeowner, any builder, is that we believe that offsite construction, specifically volumetric modular construction, lends itself to creating that air tightness, to really create that precision built, high quality envelope. Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. It is 110%. So join us BS Fridays for that, right? I mean, listen, it's what we talk about day in and day out, but we really talk about it on Friday. And then we have a big audience. Mark's in the audience now. He'll tell you, right? I mean, we get, almost 1,000 people signed up for one show.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Which is
so people are interested in this stuff. So Bill Sloan, thank you so much for everything that you had to say on there. All right, Jennifer, going to the next slide. Let me get over here. Who is next, Jennifer, and why are these two important to our industry?
So again, bouncing around. So far we had Ryan Wallace, who's a builder and a factory owner.
One.
We had
Bill Stone.
Bill Stone, who was the homeowner. We had Alex.
Commodore, Rochester Homes, Alex Berlin.
And Commodore Homes, the manufacturer, right? Now we're moving into the architect.
Architects in modular construction. Oh yeah, plural.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's check it out.
Husband and wife team, Rame and Russell Ruska from Box Prefab.
Box Prefab.
Traditionally
Texas.
trained architects who started getting frustrated because they couldn't find the right builder.
That's right.
For their homes. So what'd they do?
Well, they went and collaborated and spent time in a factory in Virginia to learn how to run and operate a modular manufacturing factory while designing and learning how to build modular and design to modular. Then they went back to Texas and they built their own high performance type factory for all modular construction to do their projects moving forward. Super cool stuff.
Yeah, very, very fun. And a couple of there were several takeaways with Rami and Russell who were so much fun. One of their core values is design first. Start with the design of the home because again, modular has this notion that everything is so boxy, you're so limited, you know, there's so many restrictions, blah, 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 blah.
That's right.
Well, you know what? These two totally disagree. And so what they're doing is what they learned they had to do was take that set of architectural drawings and now how do you build from that set of plans? They had to be that detailed that it could then go to the factory floor.
That's right.
To be built.
100%. It did. I mean, what they've done is, I mean, almost mind-boggling and amazing that they went out and they learned the process. They learned how to design DFMA, design for manufacturing assembly, built their own manufacturing assembly facility in Texas. And now they're really taking it to the next level by upping their game on their designs, on their air tightness, on the quality of the home, all of those things.
Right. So the big message there is bring design and manufacturing together. You know, a lesson that we often share with everybody is put the effort in early, get those details on paper early, because once it gets to the factory floor, there's no guesswork, you know, there's no as-built and there's no TBD on site. No, you need to build from those drawings. Yeah,
100%. Definitely need to build from those drawings. That's the way it goes. It's good for the designer, it's good for the builder, and it is good for the consumer.
It absolutely is, because how many times, you know, if you're a site builder out there, you waited to get a tile selection or a, you know, plumbing fixture selection or a bathtub or even a window selection. I mean, that could take weeks.
Weeks. You're absolutely right. 100%.
So have everything up front.
Love it. All right. Moving on. So we got to say, what was their quote though? Design first, bring design and manufacturing together, build high quality products. Love it. All right, Jennifer. My goodness. What is that? 6?
Keep going.
Oh my God. Steve Glenn, Plant Prefab. That's who we're going to have on the screen and right now.
So to be fair, Steve Glenn was not on our Building Modular show. We would have him pretty much on every show.
Yeah, he could hit every facet of every show. 100%. That guy right there, in conjunction with their partners, is amazing.
Yeah, and he embraces that design spirit. He is partnered with the most amazing architects out there. Their prefab homes are unbelievable, award-winning. He's a huge believer in sustainable construction, sustainable homes, high performance homes, not because it's a trend or a fad, but because it's the right thing to do. Yeah,
for sure. But here's the deal. With the way they're doing it and thinking differently than 99.9% of the other manufacturers out there that are in the modular and volumetric space, where they are using a hybrid approach. So, and what Jennifer means by a hybrid approach for the yous out there that are just tuning in, hybrid approach is he's using traditional stick frame modular construction. He's doing it with steel framing as well. He's doing it with steel beams as well. And they're using, they're getting into mass timber as well. So they are not just truly a straight out the door modular, one size fits all. They're a custom modular manufacturer, and they are taking a hybrid approach, which is giving them huge spans, letting them have these beautiful walls of windows. They are taking it to the next level in a big way, and it's great to watch them. And I know if you're listening, you're expanding, and we want to come see the facility, Steve. Just putting it out there. We'll be in California in a few months.
Yeah, right. And seriously, Steve could be on building science. He could be on building modular. He could be on product spotlights. The work that they're doing is really terrific. And they have found a way, again, to connect with the right financial partners, to connect with their marketplace and really create a very specific product for their market. They're very forward thinking in terms of the types of construction they incorporate to deliver the homes that they're designing and building. And they're being very cognizant of their carbon footprint and really, especially in California where they build, really developing a way of living in homes that their clients can live in that are very environmentally friendly, healthy homes. Talk about indoor air quality, talk about, the systems that they use in these homes. Really great stuff. So we strongly recommend that if you don't have Steve and Plant Prefab on your Instagram feed,
put them on there. 100%. Definitely put them on. And we're not on your Are we on the Instagram feed? We don't do we need to do more. Thumbs up if you think we should do more Instagram. And also go out there and please subscribe to our channel on YouTube. It's very important to us. So we got some great things happening, and this is just part of the beginning of this year. And we hope to be streaming live from several locations, modular manufacturing, panelization, and we are going to bring all of these folks to you live over the next few months. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And definitely reach out to us. We're always looking for great stories to share, great guests to feature. And most definitely, we're looking for ways to reach the next generation of construction leaders.
We are. So with that said, if you are associated with any schools, tech schools, anything like that, let us know. We're going to be traveling this country, and we plan on going to tech schools, high schools if they'll have us, as well as community college and trade schools to bring the world of that education to our world of offsite construction and building science, so we can get more young, smart, super smart, wicked smart people in this industry. That's what they say in mass, wicked smart.
They do. But you know what? It's so funny because we were talking about this morning as well. It's not just about the best and the brightest.
That's right.
It's not about who graduated top of their class. That's not the talent that we're looking for. We're looking for the talent who is driven, has passion, is really looking to build it better and working hard to do so and collaborating with others. So, it's that what this gentleman referred to this morning is that middle class of,
right. So I'm glad you brought that up, Jennifer. So, and sorry, I was checking something on my phone because it buzzed. And not because I wasn't on this, as we have some stuff hopefully coming up tomorrow on location that could be a lot of fun as well if everything comes together as we're planning. So stay tuned for tomorrow. But that middle class of people, that student that really isn't interested in going to a 4-year degree or doesn't feel a 4-year degree really does anything for you anymore, at least in the general terms, right? If you're going to be a doctor, you're going to the 4-year degree. If you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to the 4-year degree. 6-year, 8-year.
Oh,
can you be a doctor with 4 years?
100-year and $100 million.
PA, right? Nurse practitioner, whatever those. So, but that middle student, that still wants to do great things, wants to work with their hands. That's basically what it comes down to, right? I wasn't set off for college. I went to the service. But the reality of it is, there's programs starting to pop up and people really starting to take a look at how do we educate those that don't learn the traditional way, right? Which is the traditional college way. How do we get those great minds pulled together? I just thought of something. I want to say it, right? Most of the CEOs of major companies, a lot of them that founded companies, never went to college or graduated college. Does that not say something about who we should be looking at? It's not because I graduated first in my class as a doctor, because if you did, you're probably in the wrong class.
Right? Yeah, you're not being challenged. But I mean, terrific example of this is next week we will be live on location with a very large organization where it is just that their founder did not go to a traditional 4-year.
That's right.
university or college, and we're going to share that story next week.
It's like a 1/4 mile campus, right? Well, it's the Randall Group, right? But they own several different companies. They do concrete and tilt up. They are actually part of the entire public school system here, well, in that area, helping to educate the students and giving them their work in there, all the way from kindergarten through high school. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. This campus of just their site, where they have pods and offsite construction happening, is, he said, just to get around, it's a 1/4 mile.
Yeah.
And just moving. So we're going to be live there Wednesday next week, which is going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And we got good stuff coming up this week too. So Friday, on Building Modular, that's going to be a good show. Or Building Science Friday. Mark, sorry, man. BS Friday, Mark Bernack-Willie. Yeah. We got Dwell on on the show. How cool is that?
So Brandon Weiss is the Chief Innovation Officer at Dell, and talk about award-winning prefab construction, prefab homes, totally in the sustainable realm, market, and the building science behind them. This is going to be a really great show. So please join us for that.
Yeah, it is going to be a great show. And then we got good old Greg Ugaldi on the 18th from the NAHB, immediate past chairman. He's going to be on the show. So we have a lot of things coming up. We have so much happening behind the scenes with planning our trip, putting together a full schedule so everybody out there will know who's on and when they're on, how we're going to get that out to the world. There's a lot happening behind the scenes, and we're even looking to take it one step further. We have some conversations coming up this week, which could be really cool. So I'm glad everybody just hangs with us and puts up with my fuzzy shirt. I know it's looking all fuzzy on the screen. I can see it. It's kind of weird, right? It's disco-ish.
They're not here for your shirt. They're here for your content.
For my content? Well, that could go in a bunch of different directions. They're here for, yeah. All right, we're going to move on with that. All right, everybody. So the whole point of what we do here at Building Modular and these discussions are basically precision plus performance equals profitability. And we've talked about it over and over and over again on this show. And we're going to continue to talk about it over and over and over again on this show. So, hey, let's give a shout out. Hey, Buzz, what's happening, man? Good to see you. We also have Dr. Amar. Only 1% of world populations go to universities. That's a conversation right there.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why there's so many other opportunities. 2020, as Andrew Seeley and I joke about, was the year of the pivot. And now so much needs to change in terms of how we teach our next generation, because it changed without, us really preparing for it. So how does the world now meet students where they are?
That's right.
And help them really enter careers that will help move our industry forward. So thank you for sharing that. And then what else do we have?
Ben, he also, just so everybody knows, you're looking for Dr. Amar. He is in Scotland, Robert Gordon University. Dr. Amar, maybe we should talk. I think it'd be a lot of fun to have a conversation with you, Doctor, and talk about what you're doing over there. And yeah, don't you think that'd be fun?
Yeah. I mean, there is so much to learn from the global audience that has been tuning into each of our shows. And it's amazing how time zones don't even matter anymore. Yeah. So it would be great to chat.
Well, we are. Well, I'm just saying, because, with the universities, we're talking with Denver and some of the bigger universities here for this road trip and what we're doing. And when things lighten up, we are going to come to Europe. We are going to spread our wings and come over there. But Dr. Amar, why don't you send us, if you're interested, send us a private note and let's talk further. I think it'd be a lot of fun to learn a little bit more about you and see if it makes sense to bring you on the show and talk with everybody. All right, moving forward. Mark's busy today. He's given shout out by Jennifer on the year of the pivot with Andrew Seeley. Love it. He's in there. Jerry McKay, precision equals performance. He made a comment. Greg Ugaldi gets a big thumbs up. He does get a big thumbs up, man. He's killing it. Definitely killing it.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. Last one, Mark. You covered us up. I don't think anybody.
Well, I mean, thank you, Mark, for sharing that with the crowd, because there's been so many amazing lessons learned. And that's why we strongly encourage everyone, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and get a full glimpse of all the great shows and guests that we've had on. There have been really a lot of great ones. And really looking forward to all the guests that are coming up each day of the week.
That's right. And roundtables and so many other things we're going to start doing. So, all right, everybody, listen, we got to get back to it. We are finalizing our search for transportation. I think that's going to get finalized here in the next day or two. So that is coming together. I'll be back and forth between Alabama and some other places. We have a lot happening. It's going to be fun. I think this first quarter is really going to shape up to be absolutely amazing. Get our new studio set up wherever that's happening. It's going to be great. And we're looking forward to bringing you all the best and the brightest in the industry.
Definitely. So thanks everyone for joining today, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we definitely will see you next week. I'm Dave Cooper.
I'm Jennifer Cooper. And
Building Modular every Tuesday, 1 p.m. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Product Spotlight. We'll let you know tomorrow. Bye now.